evening, good evening. Well, it may be morning to some, depending on the time zone. But my name is Jesse Washington, and I am your host, founder, director of Recovery Live Global. It's a beautiful time to be here. I have with me today Brother Wales, who's was so gracious to come in and and be part of this interview. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to dive in. We're going to be talking about recovery today. We're going to be talking about recovery from so many different perspectives. And I'm going to let Brother Wales just talk about what he sees and what he sees is needed within the community and his own life as it relates to recovery. So right now, Brother Wales, you are here. I thank God for you
Thank
for
you
being
for
here.
having me on
Yeah,
with you today.
and I wanna just introduce yourself and
Okay, I'm Ozzie Wells, filmmaker, and so many other things. And just glad to be in Detroit. Love Detroit. I'm not living in Detroit currently, but who knows what's going to happen before it's all over. But we are here to do some things in Detroit and for Detroit, and try to encourage as many people, many Detroiters as possible. Not just Detroiters, but Detroiters are our focus. And whatever spreads from there is fine. Um,
amen.
I can go back some years and start talking about some things.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Back in 1971, somebody introduced me to some guys. I'm going to try to stay away from names because once I start calling names and corporations and things, I'm going to get in trouble. But these two black gentlemen owned a Borden's Dairy on Dexter, right at the railroad track. And someone that I knew asked me if I wanted to be in the liquor business. And without thinking, I said, yes, I want to be in the liquor business. I met with these two gentlemen, not knowing that they were opening up. They had Borden's Dairy, but they were looking to expand, do other things. And after maybe 45 minutes, a half an hour conversation, they sent me to 1300 Bobian. Had an older guy meet me down there, and in just a matter of, hour, 2 hours, whatever, he looked at me. After we had went through a procedure with the police department, had to get papers notarized and whatnot, he looked at me and he said, young man, you in the liquor business. And wow, it was kind of like knocking me off my feet. Really didn't know what I had got myself into. But here we came into a whole new world where, we were dealing with liquor, alcohol, alcoholic beverages every day. And then quite naturally, we began to have a lot of company.
Okay.
People were at my house every night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that turned into a real bad situation. Because when your house is where the partying is going on every night, it's kind of hard to have a life.
Mm-hmm.
So, recovery.
Yeah.
My wife and I, we had a problem because we were able to drink and drink and drink and almost never get drunk. I don't think she's ever seen me drunk, and I think I've seen her drunk maybe once. And that's on top of us drinking every day, all throughout the day and night. Yeah. But, and also in 1971, I went to Los Angeles to get into the movie business. I had kind of quickly built a relationship up with the store owners, bar owners, and some people who worked at hotels. And so the people that I was serving, selling them their alcoholic beverages, were took a liking to me. They trusted me. And so I figured out that I could go to Los Angeles, I could go to New York, and I could still take care of my liquor business in Detroit. And it happened. It took place. What I didn't expect was the addiction that went along with it. Yeah, it's really strange how, as a young person, you don't see what's right in front of your face.
Okay.
I mean, you see it happening to all these other people, but you don't think it's going to happen to
You.
number one.
Okay.
Shall I go on, or you have a question?
Well, I mean, I'm listening.
Okay.
You saying, and you just said a mouthful. You said that sometimes when you think about the recovery process, you look at everybody else and what's happening to everybody else, and you think that it ain't going to happen to you.
Exactly.
You just look at them drunks and them addicts and them people and that person and that, you talk about them people, and fail to realize that it could happen, to me.
Now, on that note right there, so many young people from all over the world are going to Hollywood daily. Now, there's a place, I don't know if they still call it Mann's Chinese Theater, but this is where the entertainers come and they put their handprints and their footprints. And if you've ever been there, you know what I'm talking about. It's wow. I don't even know how many people have made their prints there. But if you just go around the corner, 5 minutes, a 5-minute walk, unless they've cleaned it up, this is where the addicts are. The people who went out to Los Angeles to make it into the movie business, and it didn't happen. And I've seen people out there pretty much butt naked, begging, scheming, trying to get up on the next hit. So when we start talking about recovery, we're talking about something that's very, very valuable.
Yeah, it's interesting that you could say that some people are enticed to come to where the life is, the entertainment world is, and all of that, and they go with these high expectations, and they don't make it. You know what I'm saying? And they've been spent everything they had and exhausted every brain cell that they had trying to make it. But usually only one or two make it out of hundreds and hundreds.
No doubt about it.
It's only one or two that make it. It's like a dice game.
Yeah.
Good
point.
People crap. Some people crap out. It's hard to hit 7-11 every time. Every now and then you're gonna fall over on the crap, and then you out of there. So it's so many people that have these high expectations. I'm going to Hollywood. I'm going to Las Vegas. I'm finna get into business. I'm finna get in show business. I'm finna take my show on the road. And they have all of these big dreams and aspirations, and then they get there, and you fail to realize that, and I ain't never went there, but I went in my own mind
All right.
here.
Okay. Sure. Sure.
But I found out that everybody's not going to make it.
No doubt.
It's 1 in a million, or 1 in, I don't know what the numbers is.
The numbers are bad.
The numbers are bad. And when you go there with these great and high expectations, you never know where you're going to wind up. So you telling me that you got all these people in that area, Hollywood and all of that didn't make it. I mean, you sink the Michael Jacksons, and you sink the Aretha Franklin. I mean, you sink to all of the people that made it, but then think about the people that never made it.
Amen.
That's a population too that didn't make it. And it's the same way with substance use disorder. It's just so many people to say it ain't gonna happen to me. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. He was foolish. He was foolish because he became an alcoholic. Or she was foolish because she became a crackhead. Or he was foolish because he became a heroin addict. Or they didn't know how to use the right way. You know what I mean? He OD'd because he couldn't take it. Have you ever noticed when a person OD and the news get out, everybody run to that spot?
That's exactly right.
and
Classic, right.
everybody run to that
That's
spot
exactly to get the same
to
stuff.
get, because they say
Right.
they didn't know how to handle it. So I'm gonna go there where the people ODing at, so I can get me a hit because I can handle it. You know what I'm saying? It's something
Now,
about
see what you're
human,
talking
human.
about.
Yeah,
What you're talking about there is what caused me to realize that there was and there is a devil.
A devil.
A devil.
What the devil got to do with it?
Well, here it is. You just summed it all up. Somebody ODs, and people come running to get the same stuff.
Yeah.
And that's when I started realizing. I said, "There's a devil out here."
Wow.
I mean, because anybody with common sense would say, "No, I need to get away from that. I need to stay away from that," instead of them running to that.
It's like when you hear a gunshot,
Come on.
everybody come out, put their house shoes on, and run to the spot. I mean, there's something about that
Yes, sir.
that people run to it when
Yes,
they
sir.
should be really trying
Thank
to
you.
run away from
Thank you.
it. So
Thank
it's so what do you see? I mean, what's the answer? I
Well-
mean, from your
Well,
perspective.
we've got a lot of answers, but I would like to talk about what I'm doing in the Detroit area, and that's making movies.
Making movies.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Since 2010, last 12 years, we've been making movies here in Detroit. And what we really want to do, because we believe that Detroit is going to be a film capital. And this is a long story. I don't know how much time I have, but I'd like to tell a little bit of it.
Okay.
I got a call some years ago, and someone told me I needed to meet someone named C.L. Johnston. Well, I get calls like that all the time, so it doesn't move me one way or another. My next question to them was, why should I meet C.L. Johnston? Okay, come to find out, he was an older Caucasian brother who had a mega church out by the Metro Airport. And he had moved to the inner city. He had bought a home in the inner city. He had moved his ministry to the inner city. Now, what got my attention was that he was taking his people out into the streets of Detroit. They were cleaning up streets. They were cleaning up fields. They were cleaning up alleys. They were standing on the street corners in the cold, passing out food, passing out blankets, passing out gloves. I was impressed because, to see somebody doing this without them being paid said a lot to me.
Okay.
So he and I spent time talking. Matter of fact, we became friends, and I did a lot of things with him. I went out with his crew on occasions to see what they were doing. The man was serious. I mean, for somebody who could be sitting back, relaxing, enjoying life, and is out there that intense. But what I began to find out, he really believed that God had called him to Detroit,
Okay.
to turn Detroit around. And through him, to make a long story short, there was another man, Apostle John Saber, and I met him under some very peculiar circumstances. And as time went by, the two of them, not all at the same time, but along a journey, were steadily talking to me about Detroit and how God was going to use Detroit. And both of them were well studied. John Saber was, what can you say? He was used to be in the medical profession. Can't remember if he was a doctor for a period of time. I just can't remember at the moment. But very well educated. And he told me things about Detroit. Think about this. One of the things he shared with me is that Detroit was going to be a hub of the kingdom of God. When God establishes his kingdom on planet Earth, Detroit is going to be a hub between heaven and earth. Now, that was a powerful thought. But anyway, my program, I was already concentrating on trying to get young people into the film business. And it's not the easiest job, because you've got to find people who got enough confidence to even want to try to stand before people and do some acting. Okay? But over these last years, I can guarantee you that we have been able to get numerous young people, Detroiters, into movies for the first time. And that's been a big thing for me. But I'm only seeing that as just a little drop in the water as to what's coming, because Detroit has always been known for talent. Okay, we had I don't know, at one time, I don't know how many recording studios there were in this little small city, and it's just it's not over. I mean, this is just going on and on and on. There's so much talent here.
So you thinking, I mean, tell me if you're wrong, some of the things that you're seeing in the city of Detroit, if we could get people to connect with their bent or their talents, then they can use that to the glory of God, or use it to help out the city
Yes,
rather than to use it to hurt the city.
exactly,
And I mean, I believe in that
exactly.
because I'm learning that a lot of individuals that's involved in negativity, or say the street game, they skilled.
No doubt.
You know, these are skilled men and women, but they taking their skills and put it towards a negative product.
What I call it the dark side.
Yeah, yeah. And I always tell them that you could take that same skill set and tenacity
Thank you.
that you have to use a illegal product or the dark side product and put it into the light and put it on a legal product, and you could still be successful.
Now, see, you've gotten to a real good point. A lot of people don't realize in the movie business, there's all kinds of different things that people are needed for. Okay, you need beauticians, okay, who dress up, doctor up, beautify the people who are being filmed. You have to have people who know electronics, who know electricity. You have to have people who labor, who change the sets. Okay? While we come into a place, okay, let's say, for example, I'll give you a perfect example. There was a business that was letting me use their conference room. And the scenes that we were shooting there were that this conference room was where some big gangsters were meeting. So that whole room had to be changed from what it normally was with this particular business. And we had to change that into something that looked like a place where gangsters would be comfortable.
Okay.
Okay? We shot a scene, a different type of a gangster movie, which was filmed in Detroit about, it's called A Bullet for Rick McCrory. And in this story, 3 little young guys who had nothing, but they made it to the top. And as soon as they get to the top, everything starts falling apart on them. And so we had one scene where the main guy, Rick McCrory, one of his girlfriends, his number one girl, is getting made up in a bathroom. And so we took a plain bathroom in a hospital-like setting, and we just decorated it. Now, there was a young lady that led the decoration, and my God, I've had people just recently call me up, and they said, man, I saw that bathroom before you guys got started on it. And I saw that bathroom when it was filmed in the movies. I said, man, you guys did a marvelous job. But we got to have people that have vision, okay? So maybe a person has never seen themselves doing anything like this, but what kind of gifts do you already have, okay? Now, let me say this while I can remember. Anyone who's planning to go to Los Angeles, anyone who's planning to get into music, the music business or the movie business, please do something for yourself, and that is to perfect your skills. Okay. I went out to Los Angeles. I think I had written one script, and I started just going around introducing myself to people. And one producer, I wish I could remember his name, but this man really, really did me a real a blessing. He invited me to his home. We got friendly. We began to socialize. And one day, he told me, he looked me in my eye, and he said it just so nice, I couldn't possibly fall out with him. I couldn't get mad. He said, Ozzie, I want to help you. He said, but your material is too amateurish. Now, the way that he said it to me, it touched me. You know, that somebody, you know, because a lot of times people out here don't do anything but try to hurt your feelings. But the way he presented it to me was so uplifting. I said, shoot, I'm going to become one of the best screenwriters on planet Earth, which I'm still working on, all right? Still perfecting my trade. How many scripts have I written? I couldn't even tell you. How many scripts have I written for myself? I couldn't tell you. Maybe 30, 40, I don't know. You know, a lot of times on talk shows, the entertainers get prepared before they come on. So they go back all these facts and figures that try to sound like they know what they're talking about. But the truth of the matter is they didn't know before they came on the program, and a few minutes after they get off, they're going to forget.
Wow.
Okay, because well, sometimes we sit around and we talk about it, and we say, well, what movie did we do in 2010? And everybody goes to scratching their head.
Right.
Oh, it's just the way the world is.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming and interviewing
I'm
on
too glad to be here.
Recovery Live Global show. We're going to just take a moment to pause, and then we'll be right back. Yeah, we coming right along.
Next time we have.
My the next person that I'm supposed to be interviewing is caught at the train tracks.
So we got about 10 minutes?
Oh yeah, we got that. We got probably about 15.
I can
10
talk
to
about
15.
the past.
Huh?
I can talk about the past.
Yeah, and then what? I mean, these people is in 2022. Past is good, but
Well,
what's
It
now?
brings me from where I was so people can understand why I'm trying to do what I'm trying to do.
Okay,
now.
well that's good. That's good. And then what
That's a part of
could you
recovery.
interject to help our listening audience understand? I mean, what could they do about some of the things that they're facing? You know,
Exactly.
in
Exactly.
2022.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. Well, I'm enjoying the conversation.
Well, see, the thing there is the persistence, you know, to have a goal and go after it.
Okay.
You know, an older white lady, I could call her name, back in probably 1963, 1964. I was probably 15 years old, and she was probably 35 years older than me. And she said,
Oh, go right ahead. I'm listening.
old brain. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. And that has changed my life.
Hey, how you do? Well, we good. We're gonna. I mean, when you get here, we're gonna do the interview. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah. I'm just wrapping up the interview that I'm doing right now. So after that, we'll go from there. So I'll see you when you get here. That train, there's something else, ain't it? I was caught in traffic coming down, but the Lord opened the door, and I got on here like He gonna do for you. Yes, ma'am. So I'll see you. I'll see you shortly. If you call me and you are here, text me because I can't answer my phone. I'm on TV. So if you text me, it's sitting in front of me, and I can send the engineer to the door and let you in. Yes, I can. Okay? Thank you. Yeah, we moving right along, man.
I want to testify.
Yes, good. It's a good piece. So we'll open back up and keep on sharing with the people where recovery at,
Recovery.
what it look like, where we going, what we see, uh, and the stuff you talking about is good because there's somebody gonna gravitate right there and get it.
You know,
They not gonna get Melinda and Betty.
I got something to share on that. What you just
They
got
not
finished saying.
gonna get me and you, Banks. They're gonna get Wells.
I got something to share on what you just got finished saying.
They're gonna get Wells.
Yeah.
Let me know when we could come back in, engineer. We are back with our second half of Recovery Live Global. I have with me today Brother Wells, who was so graciously invited and graciously accepted to come on Recovery Live Global and just talk to the community. It's a community out there. It's way bigger than us. I don't know who listening. I don't even know who looking. It might be a gentleman out there, 99 years old, and was playing with his cell phone and just tuned in. Hey, my brother. It might be a sister out there, 45, 15. Might be 8 years old that's playing with her computer and then scrolled on and now you looking at Recovery Live Global. Hey, baby girl. We don't know who looking. We don't know who watching. And so we have to just present. And I'm presenting like it's somebody out there that's tuning in that want to know about recovery as it relate. And Brother Wells been talking about Detroit. I mean, we grew up in Detroit. You know,
That's right.
we this is our I didn't come from down south. I was born at Herman Kiefer Hospital. You know, I was born in Detroit.
Come on.
I went to school in Detroit. I did my stuff in Detroit. I got saved in Detroit. I mean, there's so many things that happen here in Detroit. So come on, Brother Wells, let's talk to them. They out there, they listen.
All right. My father actually owned a farm.
Mm-hmm.
My mother and father owned a farm. And we had kind of a rough time. Back in those days, you know, your parents didn't really talk to you about what was going on. But I was able to pick up some things as a child. Mm-hmm. I know they were catching it rough. And for a long time, we didn't have a television.
Okay.
And man, Jesse, I can remember that day. I came home. I was out there playing with my guys, ripping and running, cutting up, acting a fool. And I come in, and they had a gentleman there with a television in the house.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
And he was demonstrating all of the features.
Okay.
And my daddy said, I'll take it. I jumped up hollering. I said, my daddy going to buy a television?
Wow. Okay.
I mean, now there were some people in the area that had televisions, but we didn't.
Okay.
So as we began to watch television, my father he would be criticizing the programs and tearing them apart and not him or me realizing that he was preparing me for the movie business.
Okay.
Because I was taking this stuff seriously. Okay. And one of the things I picked up as a child, I saw that television could be used for the good of people. Mm-hmm. Now, when I went out to Los Angeles and around that period of time, I met people who helped me. Everybody is not against you. You meet people, black and white, who will help you. I couldn't be in the movie business if it wasn't for white people. So I'm not the enemy of white people. Anybody black, white, or whatever color you are, I've said it, and that's what I'm about. I'm not against people. I'm for people. I'm here in Michigan to help people get into this business. All right? Doors have opened up for me. Just like sometimes little young kids, their parents or somebody will have them get in touch with me in some kind of way. We start talking, and they want to know, well, what's in it for you? Mm-hmm. And when they say that, I can't help but sit back and think about all of the people, all of these years that have helped me to do what I do. Now, you and I have been knowing each other a long time.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think you knew I was in the movie business.
No.
You know why? Because I didn't even talk about it with Detroiters.
Okay.
For many years. I never mentioned it. Mm-hmm. Not once. Okay? But then my God pulled me out of the fire and changed my complete life because I had wound up, I was in big trouble. I had gotten into the dark side deeper than I ever dreamed of being. And when I got delivered, when I got into recovery, I was not just seeing what I could do for myself, but I was seeing what I could do for people. Mm. Going right back to that thing of television could be a good thing for people.
That's what birthed this ministry.
Thank you.
The pandemic hit. And we couldn't go into the basement of the church and sit around across the table and drink coffee and eat cookies and donuts and talk about recovery. The pandemic hit, the church was closed, the meetings was closed, everything shut down. And the Lord say, turn on your telephone and just say, just push, turn on your telephone and push live and say, this is Recovery Live Global, and just start talking about recovery. And people just gravitated to the Facebook page.
Thank you.
And then start listening. Then they start commenting.
Thank you.
And then they say, well, when you coming back on? And I came back on, and it started March the 31st, back in 2020, I believe, was the first segment of Recovery Live Global. And then from there, it's become history. Because not only am I on Facebook, but I'm on YouTube, and I'm on television, I'm on all these different platforms that birthed out of like you said, television, just out of a brief desire. You never know, man.
Thank you.
You just never know. We start virtual church. We start virtually. I work for the prison. Everything virtual. You know what I'm saying? I seen all my family during the holiday. Everything was virtual. Our church was closed. So I was preaching virtual. I was having Bible class virtual. I was having men's meeting virtual. And it opened. And guess what I did?
Come on.
I went back and looked at an old documentary of Martin Luther King.
Come on.
And Martin Luther King was preaching. And he had 17 microphones on the pulpit. You know what that was?
Going into different places.
That was virtual. Oh. And this was way back in the 30s and 40s. So virtual is not new.
That's not new.
I mean, can you imagine Dr. Martin Luther King? I love him. He had 17 microphones. So he was talking to Chicago. He was talking California, New York, and all. He had one microphone, and he was talking to 17 cities or countries all at one time. But virtual have elevated itself now because I got one microphone. My engineer sitting over there, he didn't have to put 17 microphones over here. He gave me one microphone, and he over there hitting the buttons. And guess what? I'm all over the place.
All right.
I didn't have to, so virtual is even moving and it's even growing. You could go to school virtual. You could go to college virtual. Man, I went to my doctor virtual.
Oh.
I went to see my primary care physician. He was on my screen talking to me
we're talking about recovery.
Yeah, we're talking about recovery.
Watch this.
But we talking about.
Watch this.
I'm talking about my leg.
But watch this.
Yeah.
I got my degree.
Okay.
Through this modern technology.
Virtual?
It wasn't virtual at that time. They called it adult learning. But
Okay. Okay.
it was a step into virtual
Okay.
at that time.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's
Because my son, who is 45 years old now,
Mm-hmm.
he was 16, and he was helping me because I was doing so many things.
Okay.
I couldn't possibly do all this.
Okay.
But I was steadily knocking stuff out because the right people at the right place in the right time.
I'm trying to tell you,
Just
man.
like making a movie. We got
Trying
to
to
have
tell you.
all kinds of people doing
Man,
all kinds of things to make a movie.
It's so many ways to get into recovery.
All right.
It's so many
all right.
ways to stay into recovery.
Thank you.
It's so many ways to fall out of recovery. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes,
it's
sir.
so
Yes,
it's
sir.
so
Yes,
many
sir.
ways,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes,
so
sir.
we have to utilize
Thank you.
everything that God. Now I'm talking the engineer over there. He part of the program too.
Definitely.
Because he got my mic on, he got my sound checks, he making sure it's edited and right and all. So he part of the team. Then next person part of the team. I mean, it's just. Oh man, I just counted the privilege, man. I just counted the privilege. I just have to sit here and say, Lord, thank you.
Well, I understand what you're saying.
Thank
brother,
you.
'cause
I just have to say, man.
I sit up some days and I think about the fact that my father and mother had a farm and how we were out there working. You know, I used to go and bring dinner in, you know, for the night and stuff like that. And now here I am, you know, making movies. I said, man, this is really something.
Man.
Now, I want to say this. For long years, I was not making my movies. I was not making my stories.
Okay.
And a little voice spoke to me
Okay.
and said, if you can't write, why are you always being asked to work on somebody's project?
Okay.
And man, I had scratched my head. I said, wait a minute. Ooh, that's deep.
Okay.
Because I had gotten to my lowest.
Okay.
I was ready to give up.
Okay.
And I needed a word.
Okay.
So here came the word.
Okay.
I said, hey, no, you can write. That's not the problem.
Mm-hmm.
But see, the problem was I had a mission, and that is to help people, not to
Okay.
see how much money I could make.
Okay.
And in this business, I've had to walk away from money.
Okay.
I'll tell you about my first book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one of the people that I met in the business, a gentleman who could really write. Oh my God, he was a master. And for some reason, he took me under his wing and treated me just like his son. And he taught me. Oh, he's the one that started teaching me how to really, really write.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was eating it up. Please believe me. And the man was dedicated to seeing me become something.
Okay.
Now, I sent my first attempt of a novel to the same publishing company that he was using.
Okay.
And they ate my stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
They were so excited. But here's where I got blown away. They wanted three things. And I won't mention all three of the things that they wanted me to put into the book. They loved it, said that all we want you to do is put this in. I thought I was money hungry.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I would do anything for money.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one of those times when it hit me in my face, and I said, I'm not going to do anything for money because I'm not going to make those changes.
Okay.
Number one, because I did not want to be a part of corrupting the youth of America.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
I didn't want to see myself supposedly, like what we used to say, getting over at the expense of young people. Because let's face it, we've had some times in this country, okay, somebody came out with a song about suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know how many young kids committed suicide after listening to that song.
Okay. Okay.
And this has been documented. This is not make-believe.
That's it's called a subliminal messages.
Thank you.
Like I had pulled up to the gas station to get some gas over on Hopper.
Come on.
And a truck pulled up in the next gas station stall. And when the truck opened its side door, smoke came out the side of the truck. Smelled like loud. And then the music was so loud till the music lyrics was saying, you've been carrying that pistol all week. and you ain't shot nobody? Nobody?
That's what I'm getting at.
You've been carrying that gun all week, and you ain't shot nobody?
That's what I'm talking
So when I heard them lyrics, man, I got back in my
That's
car,
right.
man.
Yeah.
I got back in my car, man, and I said, I'm going to another gas station because of subliminal messages like shoot somebody. You listen to that all day, all day, all day, or you hipping that, slap that so-and-so all day, all day, all day.
Right.
Or you listen to all of these that's why I have to guard my ear gate. I have to try by the grace of God to guard my eye gate. Why? Because what I take in,
Thank you.
I'm being molded and shapen. What I'm hearing,
That's for any of us.
I'm being molded and shapen.
No matter how old we are, no matter how mature we are, no matter how much willpower we have, if we feed off of darkness, the darkness is going to make a power move on us.
What I'm smelling, man, I could sit here right now
Thank you.
and smell some Simon Crow cakes.
Come on.
And now all of a sudden I want a Simon Crow cake. You see what I'm saying? I can smell some chicken.
Good point.
Now I want some chicken. I can smell watermelon. Now I want watermelon. So it's subliminal messages that take me places and take me to spots. So I got to try. Recovery mean I have to guard myself from certain negative influences that's coming in my body. And it start with a smell, a taste, a touch. You know those sensors.
Some music.
Music.
Let me give you a perfect example.
Well, the music ain't bad. It's the lyrics in the music.
Let me give you a perfect example.
So music is bad too?
Let me give you the perfect example.
Okay.
The music and the lyrics, because they're working together.
Okay.
All right. I'm cruising down Livernois.
Okay.
And there was a song on, I can't remember which beer brand it was, and they were rocking, right? Okay. And I pulled right up into the parking lot of a liquor store.
Okay.
Cut my car off, getting ready to run into the store and buy that brand that they were just advertising.
Just like that.
And then I caught myself. I said, wait a minute, man, you don't drink beer. You didn't quit drinking. What you going
That's
to
what I'm saying. So,
and I'm just agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it work in myself.
Man, shoot. My grandkids, I say, y'all need to stop just listening to that over and over and over and over. My kid, stop listening to that over and over. Certain things that come on TV, I turn it off. Certain things that come on, I just turn it off. Certain environments that I'm in, I don't stay in those environments because I know today that behavior is motivated by thought.
Let me state for the record, there are producers in Los Angeles that don't let their children see the stuff that they're producing. They are forbidden to watch it. So now, what does that tell you?
Oh, so what you're saying, they producing, but they don't want their household to watch. So they're in the game for the money and the fame, but they don't want their people to get in touch with what they're doing. Wow.
Exactly.
So they guard it even with what they're doing. Man, you got something here.
I'm telling you,
you
just
saying
like it
something,
is.
man. You're going to have to come back.
Okay,
talk some more about that.
See if we can do it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
There's some more. I mean, I'm going to have to get you back to talk about recovery as it relate to the influence of media and recovery as it relate to the influence of the big screen. Recovery as it relate to the genre of music and plays and all that kind of stuff. People, you got to watch that stuff, man. You got to watch that because you can watch it. And I watched the kids.
Come on.
And a lot of parents just give their kid the cell phone.
That's right.
Rather than spending some time with them, they give them a computer and a cell phone.
That's right.
And I watched a 2-year-old.
That's right.
Turn on the phone, play them games.
That's right.
And the 2-year-old is shooting a machine gun,
That's right.
killing people.
That's right.
On the game. So
That's
now
exactly
he
right.
killing. Now he started killing people at the age of 2.
Thank you.
So by the time he get 12, he ready for the real thing. And you wonder how he got so cold-blooded.
Exactly.
Because the game that he was involved in required him to kill with different weapons,
See,
and all of that.
One of the other things that really offends me is like some of the movies out now. Okay, guy gets shot up, and he's laying on the ground. He's bleeding his last blood, and then in a couple of minutes he rises up, he sits up, and in a couple more minutes he stands up, and then in a couple more minutes he's in another fight with somebody else. Listen, this is foolishness. This is fantasy.
That's a movie.
Yeah.
Or he gets shot.
He's
blood.
He's breathing his last breath. He's giving out his last blood. But all of a sudden he comes back to life.
Okay.
And now he's ready to fight somebody else. No. This is messing up the kids' minds because their minds all of them are not mature enough to differentiate that this is foolishness.
Wow.
A bullet coming through you, baby, you're going to lose your strength, your power, and your life if you don't get some immediate help.
Correct.
So this is the other part of what my battle is, trying to make movies that are family friendly. Now, I'm going to state this for the record. So I can't think of the guy's name. He did the research. Now, they will tell you that they make certain types of movies because they're profitable. But what they don't tell you is that somebody did the research long years ago. Family-friendly movies make the most money.
Wow.
Why? A man takes his wife, his children to the movies as one.
Okay. Family.
A difference between a guy taking his girlfriend to the movies.
Okay.
So,
Man, I got to get you got to come back, man.
Be glad to.
This has been another segment of Recovery Live Global. Tuesday, 7 o'clock on your YouTube dial, your Facebook dial. Tune in, and you can see really what's going on as it relates to the recovery process. Brother, Will. Brother Wales. That's I got it right now. I lost my train. But tell me, you got any closing remarks for the
Can I
audience?
give my email address?
You can. Out with the camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ozzie, Z is in zebra, WELS @yahoo.com. If you contact us, we may not get back with you the same second, but we will get back with you. We're looking for young people who want to do something powerful and positive in the music or movie business.
Amen.
Peace,
Well,
peace.
We thank you, and we'll make sure that email go on the screen
Thank you.
too.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in. See you next week.
Stepping on the end, stepping on the